Justin Hawkins writes again. Good day to you, it is I, Justin Hawkins. This is Justin Hawkins Rides Again, my YouTube channel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, sign up for the alerts. Today is a wonderful day as part of my sort of series of dad rock introductions and recommendations. I'm going to talk about probably my favourite, I don't know, on balance, one of my, I don't know, I have two joint favourite bands, Queen and ACDC. Today I'm talking about ACDC. But again, with ACDC, you can't just choose a few songs from their oeuvre and then say, oh, listen to these brilliant ones, because I think it's a band that established a blueprint very early on and then evolved subtly throughout, I don't know, 5 decades of amazing music. So I'm going to just talk about this one album, which I always think is the best sort of gateway album to the work of AC/DC with Bon Scott, and that's Powerage. Obviously, Highway to Hell would be an obvious choice as well, but Powerage is the one just with the slightly deeper cuts, but with him really on fire, doing what he's supposed to do, doing that thing that, I think as Bon Scott as a lyricist, I'm going to say this, I think he directly and indirectly influenced every good rock lyricist since. Anyone who's ever sung a song about having good times or sexy times or boozy times with any sort of degree of humour, I think Bon Scott is the man we have to thank for that, really. They broke the mould. He was a real one-off and a true legend. I love that guy. Can't argue with Bon Scott. So anyway, Powerage was AC/DC's 5th studio album. It was the first AC/DC album to feature Cliff Williams on bass. That's why it's so especial. That's when they really started to sound like the AC/DC that we came to know and love. Eddie Van Halen and Rolling Stones guitarist Keith Richards have stated that Powerage remains their favourite AC/DC record. I've heard Slash say something about one of the songs off this album as well. I think he said Down Payment Blues was the main reason why he wanted to get into music. Something like that. I'm paraphrasing from a very, very distant memory. Nonetheless, the album has remained a favourite of Malcolm Young, who was quoted in AC/DC Maximum Rock and Roll as saying, I know a lot of people respect it, a lot of real rock and roll AC/DC fans, the real pure rock and roll guys. I think that's the most underrated album of them all. Wow, it's great that he said that, because that's the one that I was most compelled to talk about today. So, straight from the horse's mouth, this is the real one, this is the proper Bon era AC/DC album. Let's start from the beginning. I mean, first of all, I love the artwork. It's the one where Angus is sort of standing there like that, and he's got wires coming out of his schoolboy suit, and there's lots of electricity everywhere. And Powerage is written in this sort of shattered, electric shock type font, typeface or logo font. I don't know. But it's a really cool thing to look at. It's probably my favourite AC/DC album cover. Look how cool that is. It's awesome. So yeah, it starts off with Rock and Roll Damnation, a cautionary tale for anyone who wants to play this kind of music. And the thing is, it sounds really, really tight. I mean, if you listen to the earlier AC/DC records, the Let There Be Rocks and the stuff that's kind of recorded live-ish, there's something in the rhythm section that's loose and exciting, but you can't deny that it's gone up a level as soon as you hear the opening salvo of Rock and Roll Damnation. Once it kicks off, it's just steady as a rock and really, really exciting. And when Bon's voice comes in, it's really saucy, just totally in your face. It's mixed front center, not much on it in terms of echo or delays or reverbs or anything like that. It's just like it's the guy spitting it out at you. It's awesome. I love the way this record sounds. Who produced it? I think it wasn't it Vonda and Young, the brothers of the brothers, or the cousins of the brothers? I don't know. Okay, so Down Payment Blues, I think that's the one that made Slash want to play guitar. and so you know it's good. And it goes on for ages, talks about being poor. I think he's talking about when he was, I think he was a chauffeur momentarily. Is that right? I've read a lot of books about Bon Scott. I can't quite remember off the top of my head what this job was. But I think Down Payment Blues is about him sort of witnessing the debauchery and the good times that the rich folk were enjoying firsthand because he was driving them about.
Sitting in my Cadillac, listening to my radio.
So he goes, sitting in my Cadillac, listening to my radio. Susie, baby, get on in. Tell me where she wants to go. I'm living in a nightmare. She's looking like a wet dream. Got myself a Cadillac, but I can't afford the gasoline.
I got myself a Cadillac, but I can't afford the gasoline.
And he's got holes in his shoes. He's got the down payment blues.
Down payment blues.
And then it goes down, it breaks down into this sort of like doom, 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 something like the jack at the end. It's just awesome.
Call the plane. Oh, she hit me low.
I love Give Me a Bullet. I think this is where they're really establishing the blueprint I talked about earlier. You've got one guy going like, like that, and then the other guy's going. Give the out-of-tune guitar. I tried to tune it to the record, but a lot of this ACDC stuff is probably tuned by ear. I don't think they tended to use tuners because you hear a lot of variation between the songs. So you've got presumably Malcolm over there going dum bum dum 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 bum bum dum 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 bum bum dum bum dum bum bum dum dum. Angus is over there. I always used to think that one of the most satisfying things to do is drive around and then only switch one of the speakers off in the car so you could hear what each of these guys was up to and break down their parts. They really was quite strict about the way they used to pan their guitars, so you could really hear what the brothers were up to and how it's sort of how the guitar parts interacted. This song is a great example of that. Actually, it hasn't got a guitar solo in it, and it's a rare occasion when they have a song like that. But it's still awesome. I mean, it's probably shorter as a result.
She had the word, had the way of letting me know.
It's all about Bon's vocal, really, and the rhythm part. It's great. And then you got Riff Raff. Oh my God, everybody loves Riff Raff. That's a real life moment. Any ACDC gig is one of the great. It's one of the things you look forward to, isn't it, when you go and see ACDC? Riff Raff, just a song about having fun against the odds. Even sort of mentions the end of the world slightly in there. It's, when you really get into Bon's lyrics, there's some dark stuff in there amidst all the good times and the sex and the drugs and all that. Speaking of which, Sin City. I'm going in to Sin City. I'm gonna win. Presumably this is talking about Las Vegas, do you think? Yeah, this has got everything. It's got the brilliant breakdown where he's talking about ladders and snakes. Ladders and snakes. Ladders give, snakes take. Really breaking down snakes and ladders for us.
Let's give.
Rich man, poor man, beggar man, thief. Ain't got a hope in hell. That's my belief. Beautiful. He's a bluesman, actually, isn't he? I love the Lamborghinis and caviar, the sort of disgust that drops off his tongue when he says, caviar! It's like, wow. This guy probably doesn't really appreciate caviar. He's saying it for what it is. But Lamborghinis, I think he probably does like them. He goes, Lamborghinis, caviar. It's just great. Can you tell that I love Bon? Yeah, I do. Ooh, What's Next to the Moon? This is a great one. This doesn't sound like later ACDC stuff. Later ACDC stuff was like really they established the riff rock, but this one is like. I suppose that is obviously it's a riff, but it's just there's something about the flavour of it that's a little bit different. I'm not sure how to play that, but I've noticed that when you get to What's Next to the Moon in Powerage, it seems like now the guitars are actually in tune to concert pitch. I don't know what happened. They probably just had little stood next to a piano to write this one. You can actually tell. Girl Prince, trying to find a mystery clue. Man, it's fucking great. What's Next to the Moon? You can't argue with that. I'm going to listen to this album loud as soon as I finish recording this. It's amazing. Ah, Gone Shooting. So this is the one that's supposed to be a little bit. This one it gets a bit heroin-y, smacky kind of. Oh dear, talking about heroin use, I suppose, and there's stuff about stirring the coffee with the same spoon. I love the riffs on this record. Oh my god, that's a real sort of Chuck Berry-ish kind of thing. It's quite reserved as well. It's a really subdued performance in a song by ACDC that's about heroin. It's awesome. And then Up to My Neck in You. Just, oh my god, what simple? How simple is that riff? Yeah, this has got my favourite Angus solo in it. I've talked about this solo before in interviews, and I think I recently did some of my favourite guitar solos as a playlist, and this one's on it. Goes on for ages. It's the full revolution of the 12 or 16 or 20 bar blues or whatever it is on this one, twice. So it's nearly half the song is him soloing. There's a load of Chuck Berry phrases. It's really, really exciting. But there's a great lyric in this as well. I mean, just every poem that Bon wrote on this record just lands elegantly. It's just superb. But if you have a look, hang on. Oh, I can't load the lyrics for that one. But there's a thing where he goes, I've been up to my neck in whiskey, up to my neck in whiskey, up to my neck in wine, up to my neck in wishing that this neck wasn't mine. Just genius. Right.
Two-faced woman with your two-faced lies.
And then he got kicked in the teeth, which is an amazing way to finish a record like this. I'm going to try and do a reduced version of it. Two-faced woman with your two-faced lies. I hope your two-faced live and keep you satisfied. You told me, baby, I was your only one. What's that? What would it be? When you've been running round town with every mother's son. There's a little pause before that last chord on the record, if you listen closely for it, and it sounds like it's one of those moments where, you know, they probably fucked it up when they came in, so I think they dropped in at that point. I love hearing these old records that were recorded with proper tape machines by proper musicians, because when there is an edit like that, you can listen out for it and hear it, and it's really exciting to imagine being in the studio with these guys when they fuck up. Imagine AC/DC fucking up. Oh my god, that must have been a rare and precious occasion, and I think there's a little bit of evidence of that happening on this record, which makes it even better. So yeah, just to summarise, AC/DC Powerage, if you're interested in rock music, or you've heard a lot about AC/DC, but you're not quite sure if you like the things that you've heard thus far, looking for some deeper AC/DC cuts, or if you just love music in general, you can go. You can do far worse than listen to Powerage. It's my favourite AC/DC record. And it has been for about 25 years now. So please, to enjoy. Justin Hawkins rides again. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell so that you receive notifications, and watch one of these 2 videos. Nice one. Listen to ACDC all the time.